There seems to be a little bit of a conversation happening on the internet. Odell Beckham Jr. is trending. Now, when Odell Beckham Jr. is trending, what is it normally? Well, he either did something incredibly cool, like gave hundreds of thousands of dollars donated somewhere, or maybe created a brand new shoe or something awesome, like did something really cool. He had a spectacular play, because it seems like he makes a lot of those whenever he's on the field. Or there's a conversation that he wants out of wherever he's at, and there needs to be teams trying to trade for him immediately. I think he is potentially trending, because I did see him make a big-time play, I think, yesterday. And then also, I think everybody's talking about him and Baker potentially not getting along anymore. Why does this always happen? Why does this surround Baker Mayfield? Is it because Diggs just told me that some people on the internet, himself is included, saw there was a situation on the sideline where Baker was talking to his wide receivers and it seemed like Odell was either distant or disconnected to it? That's just going to happen when you're a superstar like Odell Beckham Jr., you think? Or is that because Baker and he are superstars? Or why is this a conversation that always happens, it feels like?
I mean, I guess just because there's not a whole lot of players, especially receivers, that are such like polarizing superstars like Odell. Like, dude, if people think about Odell, especially when he was in New York, the dude transcended every sport. Don't you think he was not just a football player? That dude, like, people that didn't know football knew who Odell Beckham Jr. was. So
it was.
I feel like
go ahead.
Well, yeah, the catch obviously put him on the map right there. I've said before, every one-handed catch that any kid ever makes, they call themselves Odell now, and that's just how it's going to be for a while, I guess. But I mean, you're always going to have this, and you have a dude like that that's such a superstar, and he hasn't gotten as many balls or as many targets as you think. And I know, was it last week where Baker missed him? He had a nice one down. He would have scored for sure, and he just missed him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens. It's got to be tough, man, to be both in Baker's spot and Odell, because Odell's getting asked about it all the time. Like, oh, aren't you? I'm sure they're saying, well, how do you not get so frustrated? You're not getting the balls you want. You're not getting the numbers you need. And then Baker's probably at times like, man, I got a lot of talent. I got to find a way to spread the ball around. I can't be zeroing in on one person. No,
and I understand where Baker's coming from, but not is it only that Odell has to answer those questions. Odell can't even get like genuinely upset about something, you know? He's one of the most elite athletes we've ever seen. He's obviously very competitive. You have to be to focus on training as much as he has to get to where he is. And he knows that if he even goes like, motherfucker, like something like that, it's immediately, boom, Odell Beckham Jr. hates Baker Mayfield. He hates Cleveland. He hates the Browns. He wants out of here. And by the time he wakes up the next morning, the dog pounders say, get him the fuck out of here. We don't want him here if he doesn't want to be here. Just because of a moment where he could potentially be pissed off because the production did not happen. A successful thing didn't happen. So I assume he knows that. That would be annoying to me. You know what I mean? Like, if the thought was always that I wanted to go somewhere else, he said he wanted to be a Brown, I think, a lot. I want to win as a Brown. I want to be a Brown. He went down to Camp Mayfield, that whole thing. But some reason it always is a conversation. If he shows any emotion at all, it's immediately, oh, he hates the place. And then the place, naturally, especially a place like Cleveland, could potentially turn on you if it comes out that you don't like it, you're showing that you're mad. It's like, that would be annoying as well if I'm Odell, you know?
Oh, it's got to be annoying, but he knows like he's that good. He's put so much on film that people are just blown away by that. Yeah, he's going to have to deal with that. I'm sure he gets it. But what happens when Landry comes back? Does it get better?
Well, that's the thing, and if Jarvis Landry gets upset, he loves the Browns. He's a pillar of the Browns. If Odell gets upset, oh, he wants to be traded from the Browns. He wants out of the Browns. I think it's because he's that big of an international superstar. Like, he's a global star.
Yeah.
OBJ is a global star. I don't know if all the people that potentially hate Odell Beckham know any idea about what he has done, how he does, and who he is, like, on the internet and everywhere else. I don't think a lot of people know about that, but it does seem like it follows him around, that he's not happy wherever he is. But I think, and I'm assuming Stefanski knows this and Baker knows this, if we get more production with Odell Beckham Jr., our team will only get better. Our team will only get better if we can figure out how to make it work with him, if I can hit him. Now, obviously, Baker's going through a lot of shoulder pain. He had a bad week, and they say that Baker, after a bad week, will always bounce back and have an incredible game, which he did against the Chargers. But Odell Beckham Jr. is trending, and anytime that happens, it can only be for a few things. The Chargers fans are saying they're not getting enough love after the ass beating. Everything's like, oh, Odell wants traded, blah, blah, blah. The Browns are the first team in 402 games to lose after scoring 40 and not having a turnover. Everybody's talking about that. The Chargers are like, wait a fucking second, dude. We just had a hell of a goddamn football game over here. Everybody get off our ass.
What Chargers fans?
Whoa. I will say the Chargers fans seem to be louder on the internet, and I appreciate their community on the internet. I enjoy their community on the internet because they get very active when any Chargers fan comes on or Chargers player comes on this show. They send us genuine thanks, I think, the Chargers people do. So I appreciate the Chargers fan base a lot, but those stadiums are being filled up by the other team's fans for sure.